Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana and this is my dog Gunner. For a little while I've been posting videos but not interacting so much with you guys in the camera. It's been a while since I've had a one-to-one with you all. And my schedule hasn't been good. And the basic reason why is I moved twice. And a lot of you knew this, but basically I'm hoping now I can get more interactive with you guys again. So if there are any videos you'd like me to make where it's more like me talking about dog products, things about dogs, reacting to certain dog videos, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to do more interactive stuff. I'm by no means a professional, but the best way to learn is by, talking about things. And the beauty of it is something I might feel wrong can always change later once I learn more. And you guys can help me learn in the comments as well. Anyways, I'm probably also shadow banned by YouTube because my schedule hasn't been good, but I'm also hoping to fix that. The Wi-Fi here is not the greatest. I'm not used to having very slow Wi-Fi. So, I know I'm like, oh no, it's so rough. But yeah, that's one thing for me. I'm going to have to adapt my schedule for uploading a little bit. I'm probably going to have to make more pre-recorded content. So, bear with me on that. I'll try my best to, be relevant. It won't be anything too far in the future. But I have had times where the Wi-Fi has been out for days here. And I also need my data for college. So, bear with me. Anyways. So for this video, this podcasty sort of video, I'm just going to be talking about my moving experience so far and how Gunner has been during the moving experience. So for the first part, I'll be talking more about it in general, and then I'll be talking about Gunner. Spoiler alert, he has exceeded my expectations in every single way. I'm so proud of him. We'll get into more of that later. So yeah. So moving, I moved out of the house that I lived in for my entire life. We are building a house on land that we have. We have about 40 acres of land. We've had that land ever since I was a kid, and we've always went there. It's not super far away from the town that I lived in. It's maybe 15 minutes. So it's not like I'm moving crazy far away. But we sold our house, and then we're gonna be building a house. But with COVID, our house sold extremely fast, and our house is going to take much longer than they had predicted because of getting the materials necessary, and with wintertime. So we're renting until our house is finished being built. It should be about May where we're going to hopefully be able to move into our house, but this is all very tentative. I like to think I'm doing a lot better and handling this a lot more than what I thought I was going to. I do not like changes. This whole the change is bad. You know how everyone says, oh well, change is good. It's not, it's bad. But for me, this is something I have always wanted. I've always wanted to live in our woods. I've never been the in town kind of person. I'm really looking forward to having space, and then Gunner can have space. I'm also going to be getting a second dog once we move out there. Not right away, obviously, but my goal is soon. And I'm going to be doing more training-wise. There's only so much training I can do living on the second floor of an apartment building. But once we go there, my dad and I especially, we're both really excited about moving there. Of course, my brother and my mom are too. But me and my dad, we're outdoor people. So he's getting his sawmill. I'm excited because I'm gonna do art. I'm gonna have an art area. I'm gonna have a greenhouse that we're gonna build. I'm gonna set up an agility area for my dogs. I'm just looking forward to being able to go for a walk off leash with him every single day. I am not a fan of leashes at all. Obviously, I have his e-collar just in case if for some reason he weren't to listen, because I don't want a lost dog and I want to be a responsible owner. But when I'm walking him on a leash, it's always a training experience for him, and sometimes I don't want it to be a training experience. I want him to just be able to sniff around and stuff, but that's only when he's off leash. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, so after we moved out of our house, we moved to a motel for about a month, and it was stressful. The first night we only had one motel room, so we all had to cram into one room. Then afterwards, I was able to be with me and my dog, and then also my brother's cat, because where everyone else was staying, the rooms weren't pet friendly. So all the animals had to stay with me. And the cat, being the cat, we get along, but I'm not entirely a cat person. I'm more of a dog person. I mean, I love the guy, don't get me wrong, but you think dogs are needy? That is the neediest cat I've ever met in my life. But him and Gunner, I think it was good that the cat started off with Gunner, because the cat really relies on Gunner for confidence. So literally every single night the cat and Gunner would sleep in his pet porter together, because pets weren't allowed on furniture at the motel, which I think was also good for Gunner because the pet porter smelled like home. I can't really say anything, like that month flew by so fast of staying at the motel. And it feels like I've been away from there for so long, but it's been less than a month. I actually really enjoyed staying there, more than I thought I would. I loved the sound of the waves. Every night when I was sleeping, I could just hear the waves. And I guess, like, it was like, I never ran into people there. Then we moved into this place where it's like an apartment/hotel, and this has honestly have been more of a shock for me, because there's a restaurant below us and it's kind of noisy, and it's also in the middle of town, so I always hear cars driving by. And also there are other people living inside the building with us, so they always walk past my room talking and stomping really loud. So I also apologize in advance if you hear people in the background of this video. I'm going to try my best to edit that out. I'll just pause whenever people walk by or are talking, but you might hear some things. But that's been more difficult for me, I think. It is a really nice place, don't get me wrong, and I appreciate having the extra space and a kitchen. My hotel, staying at the motel, it only had a mini fridge and a microwave, but I had to unplug the microwave to get my computer set up. But yeah, living here, it's been, like, I don't want to seem like I'm complaining about this place, because I'm not. I'm extremely grateful that we were able to get a spot here, and that, like, the owner and there's a lady who cleans here have been wonderful and amazing. It's just, for me personally, that this change has been more of a shock for me. But I really, like, aside from those things, I'm really handling this better than I thought I would, and I'm so impressed with Gunner. So now we'll talk about Gunner and how he's been an absolute superstar. So right off the bat, during moving, when we were moving from our house, I pretty much brought Gunner with me everywhere, like, because we had to unpack the rest of our house and bring everything into storage areas. And Gunner would be in the car with me while I'd help my dad and my brother unpack, and then my mom would be at home. She'd pack more stuff while we were gone. And Gunner would have to wait in the car, and no complaints. He'd just watch us. He was so good. And then, once we were moving into the motel, I left Gunner with my dad. My dad, he was the one who kind of stayed with the animals, and he was good from what my dad said. And then right off the bat, I set up his, like, little cozy area with his kennel, after everyone moved out of my room, and he just would lay in there. He'd play with his toys in there. He never once jumped up on the furniture or tried to go up. Sometimes he'd stare at me, like, because that's his way of asking if he can. I've posted a couple shorts of him staring at me, and that's because he's begging, well not begging, but he's going, "Hey Dana, can I sit up there?" And then I'll tell him, okay, or I'll tell him no. But when I do tell him no, that he can't, he always would just be like, alright, and lay down. It was honestly harder for me because ever since I adopted Gunner, he slept on my bed every single night, like since the day we rescued him. And honestly, it was just like, it was so weird not having him in bed with me, if that makes sense, because he was like my mini warmer. I'm so cold, so I had to use more blankets because it was like so cold without him. And then when we moved from the motel to here, he was an absolute star once again. Basically I kept him with me while my mom and my brother Wyatt unpacked their rooms. And then Gunner, he went and stayed in my brother's, like my brother and my mom, they have a room together, but it's like a bedroom, a living room, kitchen area, and then another bedroom, and that's like how it goes. And then my dad, he is out of town for work, so he's actually in a different apartment roommating with a couple of his work buddies. So we're all over the place right now. And then I'm actually pretty much right across the hallway from my mom and my brother, so it's not like we're far away. And it's been pretty nice, and I mean, Gunner, I thought he was going to be real antsy, he was going to be real stressed, like a lot of crying and barking. And at the Algoma Beach Motel, the only time he cried and barked was sometimes there'd be cleaning ladies who showed up, and he'd cry and cry because he wanted to see him. And then Gunner, there's one person who lives in here who Gunner does not trust. He has a really low voice. I've never ran into him, like, but he always walks past our room, and Gunner will do like a little boof every time like that man walks past, but it's not even a loud bark. And I don't even know what the man looks like, but Gunner, being the dog that he is, he's never been like aggressive. He's never intentionally hurt someone. He has his moments where he accidentally, like ran into me, almost broke my knee. He ran into my dad, made my dad absolutely fall over. And then, I mean, when we first rescued him, he didn't understand that our arms and our clothes weren't toys, so he'd always like grab onto us and like try to play, but it was like playing, it wasn't hurting on purpose. But it was, I trained that out of him, and now he's a pretty good guy. But I mean, I'm like at the vet, he gets shots and he's giving the vet kisses. He's never intentionally harmed a person. So the fact that he kind of raises his fur a little bit when that man walks by, I'm just like, okay, I don't think I want to meet that man, because if Gunner doesn't trust him, obviously he has a good reason not to. So I trust Gunner. I felt a lot safer having Gunner with me as well, just because there is a bar here, and then we share a parking lot with another bar. So when I leave Gunner out potty and stuff, like, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even have to go outside if Gunner wasn't here, but now I can go outside and feel safe because I'm an outside person. And if it weren't for Gunner, I don't think I'd feel very safe outside sometimes, just because this is it's by no means a big city. Like, it's a really small town, but it's in like the downtown area, and there's definitely a lot more people here. Sorry, people were yelling. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But yeah, I mean, pretty much basically, Gunner has been an absolute dream. I was so expecting him to kind of regress back to his shelter dog days, where he was kind of always like on edge, a little anxious, and maybe even do more of his jumping, like, sassy stuff, but he has been an absolute dreamboat. I'm so impressed with him. I'm so proud of him. This is by no means something that is easy for me, so it's probably 100 times more difficult for him, because he doesn't understand what's going on. At least I understand why we're doing this. He doesn't. But he's just, all he needs is me, and like, he trusts me, and I'm so proud of him, and I couldn't ask for a better dog, honestly. I'm so glad that I have him with me. he's always listening to everything going on, so that also makes me feel very safe too. And I'm so proud of him. But yeah, so that is basically the little update of how moving went for me and for Gunner. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. Like I said, I plan on uploading at least 3 times a week and having a pretty good schedule. So hopefully it all works out. If I don't upload, just know it's probably because of the Wi-Fi. Once I unlock the community tab, I can do more communication with you guys through like those posts and stuff. And I'm really looking forward to being able to do that, so anything helps from you guys. I'd love to be able to interact with all of you more, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm grateful that I have YouTube, especially now since I don't feel right leaving Gunner here by himself, so at least I have stuff to do, is YouTube, so I'm certainly looking forward to what will happen with this channel in the next 6.5 months or so, and afterwards, because afterwards there's going to be a lot of things happening, so you'll want to stick around for that. But yeah, that is all for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!